Hey everyone, Marty here, and welcome to Marketing Siege Radio. And I got something for you today that's like really going to blow your mind as much, or at least I hope it does. It really blew my mind as soon as I kind of realized what was going on here. And honestly, like I said in the intro, I used to let this trip me up a lot, and I don't want the same thing to happen to you. You know, I remember back whenever I was feeling like I had completely lost track of my life's purpose as a trainer. I had no idea how much my my last knee injury was going to derail me and actually alter the path of my life. Because up to that point, I'd been had two amateur MMA fights. I was training people out of my house, really close friends at the gym. And I was teaching group classes, and I was going 100 miles an hour. And in the downtime, I was figuring out ways how to grow my business and make more money, and do that kind of stuff. And a lot of the time was spent just with coach talk, addressing problems, and overcoming like these challenges for my clients. And man, I gotta tell you, I got really addicted to that game. But as soon as I was hurt and I wasn't able to play it like that anymore, like it completely threw me off track. And that just caused all this frustration. And it didn't matter what I did. It's like now I had all the time in the world, or at least it felt that way. But I was doing all these things, trying to build my business online and grow and do that kind of stuff. But I found, like, looking back, and I was in the same spot. I was not even necessarily doing things that were making me happy anymore. I was just doing what I had to do. And at the time, because I was desperately stuck in survival mode, and I didn't know if, I was just being too stubborn, chasing a pipe dream of only working with ideal clients, only working with clients that I wanted to, being paid more than enough money that's going to support me and my family. And, even more so than that, just allow me to be fulfilled like I was before the injury, because I certainly was not there anymore. And I began, to lose hope. Honestly, I was I was here at the end of this, and I didn't even know if it was worth fighting for anymore. It's like, should I just yet again walk away from another dream, or uh, should I keep chomping at the bit? And I was just running my head into a wall repeatedly over and over again. And I would go through these loops of, like, I'd be so mad and stuff would get done. And then there was like all this collateral damage that happened throughout my life as a result of that. Strained relationships, my body was breaking down on me, all this stuff. And, I was just emotionally shut off, taking stuff way too seriously. And I had completely lost sight of the vision that I had. And that's whenever it hit me what the true problem was. Number one, I had lost sight of my vision. I had sacrificed everything that I wanted to be, and I was setting myself up. I was setting my game of life up in a way that was miserable. It's like, there are just some games that you don't like to play out there. And I did not like the game that I had set up for myself. I had set myself up to be stuck at a computer all day long, whether it was learning online marketing or playing video games while I was trying to rest, trying to keep myself off of my feet, trying to keep myself from messing myself up anymore, because I was a knothead. I was a total blockhead when it came to injuries, and it backfired on me. So I had I had changed my approach so many times I didn't even realize who I was anymore. I didn't understand if I was still a nutrition counselor, a fitness coach, a personal trainer, MMA conditioning specialist. Was I a marketer? Was I like just a sad gamer? It was like, what was it? and this began to take over more and more until I started getting super clear on what it was that I actually wanted. Like, what were the actual win requirements for my life? And that's something that I notice all the time looking at them out there. It's like, I'm not talking to us. I'm talking about the thems of the world. I would ask people, like, what do you want? And they would just list off 1,000 million things that they didn't want. And it's like, you don't know, do you? It's like, I know, because I've been at that spot where I didn't know either. Like, that's what actually caused this spot to come up. But then I realized that the vision never changes. Once you know what you want, like, sometimes your desires change. Sometimes, you grow past a hobby or something similar like that. Your interests do change over time, but like your overall vision of what you want life to be, like I promise you, if it's truly what you want, it's not going to change. But how do you change directions without losing sight of that vision, that focus? And the answer to me is like just simply to pivot. And that's what I wasn't doing. That's the one skill. That's the one thing I didn't understand. I've always geeked out on angles. I've always loved working with people on the way that the human body works, because I see it as a system of levers. But looking at striking or Brazilian jiu-jitsu and the importance of angles and the way things fit together in that way, it's really spoken to me a lot. And I realized that just because you pivot or change directions, it doesn't mean that the vision has changed. There's still an obstacle or an opportunity in front of you to tackle. It's just like, one way isn't working, just pivot and go about it another way, and understand that your vision has not changed as a result. You get this new information, this new DLC, new evidence, and then all of a sudden things shift around, and information changes things. You begin to pick up on these signals, and you start to create in your life instead of anticipate as a result. And I think about, being in fighting exclusively on right-handed or left-handed. It's like there's a lot of missed opportunity and a lot of hindered movement as a result. And just as something as simple as pivoting, changing stances, changing angles can do wonders to get you closer to the goal, even though it feels like you're dancing around and you're not taking the shortest path there. You actually are, because more often than not, that straight in angle or straight back angle is never the right one. They're going to make you pay for it if you take that angle. So with that being said, at the end of this, it's like, how do I make sense out of this to myself? And I think that the big thing to understand and take away from this is that you have to understand what you want first, and you have to stay focused on that, because if you start looking at all the things that could happen or what they're going to do, then that's exactly what's going to happen. Whereas you stay focused and relaxed and focus only on what you want to have happen, you can, easily change your approach, and more often than not, get rid of that frustration that's going on in your life without losing out on who you actually are or what you want to do with your time. And to me, that's success. And that is one of the most important skills to have. So, by the way, I want you guys to check out this awesome free video I put together for you. It's going to be a link to it in the comments. It's going to be 7 mini games that are going to balance your life and allow you to build your life and business as a fitness coach and trainer. And remember, you're one upgrade away.